Hello everyone, my name is Lowko and welcome back to a professional match of StarCraft 2. Now what I've got for you today is a Terran versus Protoss where we find ourselves on the map Nightshade. Now from what I've heard, apparently this game right here is something special. Apparently it's one of the very best games of StarCraft 2 that has been played this year so far. I have no idea what to expect because obviously I haven't seen the game yet myself either, but I believe we should be in for a treat. So spawning here, in the bottom right hand corner of the map Nightshade, playing with the red Terran SCVs from South Korea, we have Kjur. His opponent in the opposite corner, apparently joined by Samwise right there, spinning around on the main nexus with the blue Protoss pieces. We're looking inside of the main base of PartinG. Now I know I say this about a lot of pro gamers, but I'm not gonna lie, both of these guys are some of my very favorites. Kjur is like the big up and coming Terran player. This guy is winning pretty much all of the online tournaments right now. He's getting ridiculously good, and while he's not quite as strong yet as, say, like, for example, a Maru or Innovation, especially at offline tournaments. I mean, Maru in the grand finals of the GSL Super Tournament just a couple of days ago looked absolutely insanely good. Kjur is definitely not quite at that level yet, but he's getting there. This guy is steadily improving, and while he's definitely amongst the very best already, despite a lot of people having never heard his name before, until, like, maybe a couple of months or so ago. PartinG, on the other hand, I mean, this guy, I love watching this guy play. So, I know a lot of you are massive fans of the super cheesy Protoss players, right? Like, for example, Haze, like, for example, say, like, Florencio, whenever he plays Protoss. I know a lot of you are huge fans of those guys. Here's the thing, though. PartinG is definitely a very aggressive Protoss player. This guy is not afraid to go for a cheesy build order, but the thing is that he's ridiculously good at just simply playing macro. I would say that PartinG is probably, like, the quintessential cheesy, aggressive Protoss player who's actually very good at the game, right? Not to take away anything from, like, Florencio or Haze, but there's no denying that they are significantly lower ranked than, for example, PartinG. PartinG is actually one of the very best Protoss players in the world, and the thing is, as soon as this guy has a standing army, he will be out on the map. I wouldn't be surprised if he's gonna get, like, a handful of Stalkers and just, like, idle them over here. You know how, like, a lot of Protoss players will put their army right over here? PartinG never really does that. I mean, unless he needs to play defensively, he loves being in your face. And, well, he's very good at micro. I think for a while we could all say that he was the best micro player in the world. And from some of the moves that I've seen him make recently, he may very well be getting back to that level right now. Like, he's looking ridiculous. Now, by the way, whenever I say back to that level, obviously, like, there's a little bit of confusion, right? Sometimes I see people talking about... Actually, hold that thought for just a little bit. Is the Adept gonna get picked off? Shouldn't. Nah. Sometimes I see people talking about how, like, everything was better back in the day, right? And especially in real life, obviously, that's true, but in StarCraft 2, it's the case as well. A lot of people talk like the good old days of StarCraft 2, when the skill level was much higher, were much better. That is complete BS, okay? Skill level in StarCraft 2 is steadily improving, and while PartinG definitely had the best micro in the world once upon a time, he didn't get any worse at micro, it's just that everyone else got better at it, and as a result, PartinG had to get better at it as well. Skill level of StarCraft 2 is continuously going up, and whenever you, well, whenever you hear someone say that, like, the good old days of StarCraft 2 were better, I mean, just know that they are terribly wrong. Like, the game is at a higher level right now than it's ever been, and the same can really be said for StarCraft 1 as well. You see that all the time in StarCraft 1 too. The games that are being played right now, I watched Flash vs. Action just a couple of days ago of the ASL. Ridiculous level, man. The players are getting ridiculously good. Looks like it's gonna be an Adept right here in exchange for a single one of those Reapers. Already though, PartinG is using this confusion here that he's causing for Kjur to start up a gateway very close to the main base right here of Kjur as well. So obviously this is going to be a point of warping that he can use in just a little bit. There's already a Robo coming up as well. So I guess he's probably going to be skipping the Prism for just a bit. He does have Blink coming up. And Blink obviously is going to be PartinG's bread and butter. This guy loves getting Blink. And like I said, make around the Stalkers and be out onto the map. Try and get into the opponent's face. Now, I don't know much about this game, but I did see that the replay timer was very, very long. I don't remember the exact time, but much longer than most of the games that I cast, especially of Terran vs. Protoss. These games have a tendency to end rather early. So I don't think PartinG is going to be able to deal like a crippling amount of damage, but he's probably going to be able to get in his opponent's face relatively easily, using that Observer for like high ground vision. Now, here's the thing though. Yeah, these Widowmine drops are so annoying. He actually only dropped a single one. Just trying to force this Protoss army all the way back. Is the Prism, or rather the, it's kind of like a Prism, right? Is the Medevac gonna go down? It did get one probe kill, by the way. But this is also like just so much lost mining time, right? So it's 2 workers only, which is really not that much, but a ton of lost mining time as well. All right. Observer. Actually, it's got an observer skin. Would you look at that? I've never really paid attention to observers very much, but that's definitely an observer with a skin. That's not the default observer. It's kind of funny. They make these beautiful skins, right? There must be an artist working on these skins for a really long time, and then like they just get cloaked, so you barely see any of the details, so nobody really pays attention to it. The Stalkers, though, obviously also are skinned from their default version, and they look pretty badass. High ground vision will be provided here as well with that hallucinated Phoenix, waiting for the observer to come across. He just wants to double check here if there's something inside of the main base. No siege tanks or anything hiding anywhere, so that does mean that these Stalkers managed to get into the main base, and this can definitely deal some damage. There's not that much available right now for the Terran player. Yeah, he's going to be forced to pull the boys away from the mineral line. And the annoying thing is, right, these Stalkers can be individually blinked towards the low ground. And they will start regenerating shields here in just a little bit as well. That's 13 SCVs going down just like that. In the meantime, though, 1 Raven will send across the map as well. 1 kill? 2 kills? No, just 1. If he gets the Raven, actually, that is pretty much close to game over. I mean, killing the Raven here would be absolutely massive. 3rd Nexus, though, is coming up. Stalkers, in the meantime, have decided to blink forward towards that bunker over there, as most of the Terran army was obviously stuck inside of the main. And this observer over here is in such a good spot as well. Oh my god, he's getting so much value. Yeah, you can just blink up and down into the main base and like figure out exactly what's going on. Oh my god. You see that? If you blink at the perfect moment, you can actually prevent the Widow Mine from connecting. It's one of the hardest moves to make with Stalkers. I mean, it's not one of the hardest moves to make, but it's hard to make while you're doing everything else, you know what I mean? Like, you could try and pull off that move and, you know, have like 1,000 minerals in the bank in the meantime, but it doesn't really get you very much value. Now, I've got a feeling, though, that this Raven's days are numbered as well. It lived for exactly, well, I think like 3 minutes or so. Not that long, really. We can't really talk of days. It's not even like a 1-day fly. It's just, yeah, a couple of minutes at most. A little bit sad there. I wouldn't want to be part of either of these guys' armies. Now, already, though, it is going to be that Colossus opener. So Blink Stalkers oftentimes lead towards those Colossi opener, because the best counter that Terran has for Blinks, or for Colossi rather, is of course Vikings, and that's exactly what Stalkers are very good against. So generally speaking, yeah, and this is what I mean, man. Generally speaking, this does lead towards Colossi play. Here's the thing, though. Most Protoss players would be idling their army at home, right? Worried of like a big drop or something along those lines. If you don't pay attention and this like Terran army comes stimming down the ramp, all of these Stalkers are gone. PartinG is just, well, here we go. PartinG apparently is feeling confident that he pays attention to these units in time. Ooh, wow, he got a meta effect there and then decided to blink away. Nicely done. At the same time, though, there's that drop inside of the main base, too. The laser boys can't jump up this cliff, or walk up that cliff, rather. If he gets to Robo Bay, actually, that would be a disaster. Oh my god, is he gonna get it? Oh my god, he will get it, and actually, extended thermal lens was denied. That's huge. Terran doesn't know this. But it does mean that the Colossi will be without their ranged upgrade for, well, I guess another minute or 2. I'm assuming that Kieran knows that it's denied, but very difficult call to make, though. He already knows that his opponent is on 3 bases for a little while, so just gateway units alone would be, you know, quite good. And actually, it's just going to be Immortals right now as a follow-up. PartinG apparently a little bit worried, and he knows that there's quite a few Marauders in his army as well. Alright, so. 3rd Command Center eventually comes up. This gateway hasn't been found yet, but I've got a feeling it won't, well, it won't live for that much longer. As soon as the SCV comes close, he needs to lick. Come on, dude. Really? Okay, yeah, there you go. I thought for a second it would be out of range as well of that mineral patch, but that made absolutely no sense. There you go. A couple of Marines and Marauders take their combat drugs and decide to move forward. 1 Medivac still hanging out here as well. This is a tricky army to move out with, though, because it doesn't have that ranged upgrade. PartinG is going to start chrono boosting that one as well. I think this normally would lead to like a very aggressive push and one that PartinG wants to potentially even end the game with. But without ranged, I mean, what exactly are you going to get done? These siege tanks are just going to be able to shell away from such a long distance. Yeah, ooh, don't lose the sentries. Losing the sentries would be a disaster. Cure right now, looking nice and pretty on the bases that he's got. He's going to be able to defend this relatively easily. But as he finally gets his own 3rd base up, the Protoss is already looking to take the 4th base. Normally, this is the matchup where both players have an even amount of bases. So, most matchups in StarCraft 2, at the very least, like the non-mirror matchups, the players are, you know, one race is favored to have like an extra base. Like for example, Zerg is pretty much always supposed to be at least one base up. In Terran and Protoss games though, they generally speaking have a similar amount of expansions, with the Protoss ever so slightly faster on their bases. Cure apparently is anticipating a switch towards High Templar here, as he's getting himself the upgrade right here for the Ghosts. It's gonna make the Ghosts quite a bit more helpful. Obviously, EMP is always helpful against Protoss. You can still remove the energy out of sentries as well, and also obviously remove the shields off of, for example, Archons. It is gonna be High Templar indeed, and actually also now the Disruptors. So all sources of splash damage will be available here for PartinG in just a little bit. That's gonna make that army ridiculously sophisticated. Protoss usually has to choose if they want to go Colossi, or if they want to go High Templar, or if they want to go Disruptor, but apparently PartinG is just gonna go for all of them. Very difficult to micro, but like I said, that's kind of his specialty. Now while while PartinG rather is very well known for being in your face, Cure really doesn't play that way at all. Cure is very much so the guy who's just simply sitting back, readjusting the siege tanks by like 2 squares, right? Like that really wasn't very much of a change right there on that one tank. This guy loves just simply playing the macro focus style, really not, you know, going all too crazy. One of the things that really sets Maru apart is his insane multitasking and drop harass. None of that really going down so far for Cure. Would love to see a little bit of that here as well in just a little bit. Prism is already waiting though for that Terran army to move out. There's one of the big bulls. The Purification Novas. Very annoying to have to deal with. But yeah, this is gonna definitely just be a battle of skill right now, right? The player that's gonna have better micro will probably come out ahead. Ooh, a lot of Zealots are being warped in actually. Like PartinG is for all intents and purposes maxed out right now, but this is like 30 supply caught up in Zealots that aren't in the main army. There's actually very few Zealots right here in the main army, as in 0. Here we go. Zealots managed to make their way towards the mineral line. Now I do love this bunker over here in the back. At the same time right now he's pushing forward, trying to see if he can get the kill there on the main command center that's going to make up the center section here of the base of the Terran player. Looks like a decent EMP though was landed. Most of these Stalkers are right now without energy, and the High Templar can't really storm very much anymore either. The sensor tower in a brilliant position. We'll just simply see pretty much all of those, you know, exclamation marks whenever a Protoss unit gets close to that circle. There it is.
Unacceptable command. We are at maximum supply.
All right. Apparently he's at maximum supply. Thank you very much, the adjutant, for sharing that with us. All right. So here comes the Prism. Storming by, getting into the main base. Notice how PartinG is purposefully not maxing out. He's leaving supply right here in the tank to be able to get a nice warp in. Not gonna happen this time around, but I've got a feeling that the Prism might actually kill it as well. Yep. Nicely done. Already though, we see a transition right now from Cure going towards an army that's focused a lot around Disruptors. Disruptors are a really good all-round army unit against Protoss, especially before they get Tempest down. And you can see right now it's just going to be the second Robo here from PartinG. Most of his anti-air is just going to be Stalkers. And while Vikings are, Liberators are absolutely phenomenal at just simply controlling certain spaces. If you can put them up in a nice location, they can deal an awful lot of damage. This kind of feels like a Terran versus Zerg right now in a way though. Cure is just maxed out, gonna add on a ton of additional command centers. He's just letting the opponent come to him. Very passive approach here. I guess this is mostly just something he does against PartinG though. Like, he's been a lot more active in other games. But I guess PartinG is just so well known for being in your face that he's just, you know, letting him come. It's like, sure, you attack me, but I'll take the defender's advantage. My units spawn much closer to the combat. Should be a pretty good situation for me to be in. Gets a second sensor tower up right now as well. This is also covering this expansion over here. You will figure out about these Zealots here immediately, and the Prism. Yeah, I think that's probably what Cure is doing. Now, what you may have noticed as well is that they are both in the clan DPG. So they are teammates. It stands for Dragon Phoenix Gaming, by the way. I don't know why they decided to go with Dragon Phoenixes. I have no idea. They could have gone with Caterpillar. I don't know. Caterpillar Honey Badger. Like that. I don't know. Dragon Phoenix. I guess mythical creatures. I have no idea. Let me know what the most creative name is of a StarCraft 2 team from Korea that, you know, you can come up with. Let me know down below in the comment section. Dragon Phoenix Gaming. I'm gonna go with Caterpillar Bigfoot Gaming. There's a lot of great names you can come up with. I don't know exactly why specifically dragons and phoenixes. Maybe there's a little bit more to it, but... Unicorn Honey Badger Gaming. I don't know. Anyways, what I was trying to say before I started, you know, making the dumbest jokes in my life, I think that these guys may very well be practicing against each other rather regularly. I think that may very well be the reason why Kiara is playing as passively as he is right now. He's like, yo, I know you're good at playing aggressively. I know I'm good at playing defensively. Let's just try and test the waters and see how this goes. I would be terrified right now, though, if I was Kiara, because this Protoss army is not slowing down. This Protoss economy is not slowing down either. PartinG pretending like he's a Zerg player, expands all over the map. Kiara, though, getting himself set up in this game very nicely, too, right? We're only 16 minutes into this game. Both players are maxed out. The first tactical nuke, apparently, is indeed gonna fly across the map. Is he gonna find the ghost? Nah, you need to see it. You need to see it if you want to lend it. Okay, that does mean that apparently an army over here was shut down too, and the first of the nukes managed to land. At the same time, the Protoss right now does have extended thermal lens. He's gonna move forward. Try and see if he can get some damage done. There will be an additional nuke coming up here as well. Only a single Ghost Academy, though, so really not that much here in general. Fleet beacons coming up, so PartinG already setting up a... Yeah, oh my god, that's going to be 4 Stargates already. No, 5 Stargates. Wow, he's got 5 Stargates here finishing in just a little bit. I guess he wants to do like a big air transition. I'm assuming it's going to be Tempest. He's already getting himself the +1 flyer weapons, too. Tempest, obviously, are the counter to Liberators, primarily. Although he could go carriers, but carriers are a little bit awkward. He's also now warping in. Oh my god, 15 Dark Templar. Where are they? There they are. Oh my god, PartinG! Do you have the blink upgrade? He does. He does have Shadow Strike. The ghost was spotted there. Where exactly are you gonna go, though? Shadow Strike is the blink ability there for those Dark Templar. That is way more DTs than we normally see. Now, you gotta keep in mind, though, those Dark Templar are not cheap. Gas is usually the limiting resource of Protoss, and while PartinG does have a pretty nice bank, 2.3k is not bad at all, you can't just, like, throw these units away. Is he just gonna blink? Oh my god, I think he wants to blink on it. There it is, by the way. Another nuke is coming up as well, once again in the same location we saw previously. This time around, it looks like the ghost does not live to tell the tale. So risky. So risky. I think PartinG probably wants to hit his opponent at several different angles. And since Dark Templar have insane damage per second, right? I wouldn't be surprised if he blinks forward and kills the planetary fortress before the Terran player lukes there. Because most of the time, if you hear, like, your base is under attack, right? Like, you assume it's just a couple of zealots or something like that. And when a base with a planetary is under attack, I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? Well, 15 Dark Templar, apparently. Here we go again. Oh my god, he just blinks forward! He just... Oh my god, look at the planetary! That is the quickest planetary fortress I've ever seen go down. That was so fast. In the meantime, though, a small Terran drop right here on the left-hand side will force the council on a Nexus. Dark Templar, oh my god, would you look at that? Isn't that weird? Huh. They get EMP'd. They are visible. Never really seen that before. So sick. And keep in mind, man, he still has those Stargates. He doesn't seem to produce any flying units right now. He's just simply getting the Stargates set up. And he's just simply, I guess, like he's making upgrades, right? He's even got double... He's got double Cyber Cores. I love this. A couple of Zealots now also reinforcing those Dank Templar. Once again, an EMP will reveal some of them. Got a feeling, though, that this base is in a little bit of trouble. I think he wants to start up like a big air transition and then have upgrades for those air units already ready. Because oftentimes one of the issues that you can run into is that your army is just not well upgraded enough. Well, this fight, absolutely terrible for Protoss, though. Look at the bank, though. He's just going to keep warping in Stalkers. I really want to know what he's going to build out of those Stargates. Like, he's going double air upgrades, so he must be planning something. I guess he may want to, like, try and see how many of those Liberators his opponent is really going to make. Like, if it's going to be too heavy of a focus on Liberators, like, say it's going to go up to, like, 20 Liberators, I guess at that point, a Stargate transition is just simply the way to go. He's even getting himself, like, all of the other upgrades, too. It's a lot of gateways, too, by the way. Base in the top right-hand corner is taken. Base in the bottom left-hand corner is taken. Not something we see very often in TVP. This is becoming my type of game, man. I see nukes. I see upgrades of units that aren't even around yet. I see both players getting to their ideal unit compositions. So sick. Yeah, this Nexus is definitely not going to live. But I think the same can be said for this planetary fortress. There's still a couple of those Dark Templar left over. The weird part is, though, right? When you kill one planetary fortress for the cost of, like, 6 Dark Templar, right? The planetary fortress costs less than those 6 Dark Templar. So is it really a valuable trade? On paper, not really. But obviously, you shut down a lot of mining time as well. Assuming your opponent doesn't have a ton of bases. Once again, another nuke will indeed fly across the map. This one is heading on over to the 4th base. Or was this the 3rd or the 4th? No, this was the 3rd base of the Protoss player. It's gonna land. We'll shut down one of those pylons. At the same time, though, once again, ooh, the Zealots are charging forward. Cure does have a big army, but it's like scattered all over the map. The Zealots are starting to get a lot of work done, right? Whenever you get on top of the production, it's not a great spot to be in. Looks like the Nexus actually also falls. Ghost usually used for the EMP spell, but they actually deal an awful lot of damage. You know what? This is a lot of SCVs going down right now. 73 SCVs were killed here in total by PartinG. I mean, throughout this game, obviously. Not you know, just now, but... Nice catch right there, though. Cure manages to get those Zealots on the retreat. And he's, once again, oh my god, warping in so many Dark Templar. Dark Templar this time around in the bottom left-hand corner. There's no detection here at all. He doesn't even need to blink in. Yeah, just right-click it. A scan is not even going to be enough. Like, a scan won't be enough. Oh my god. This is a much more successful attack than the 15 DTs that we saw earlier. Disruptor shots, forcing the Protoss, or forcing the Terran player, rather, to back off. It feels like PartinG has been in the driver's seat of this game for quite some time. But Cure is definitely not in, like, a bad spot, though. I mean, he still has a bank. He's still pretty much maxed out. He still has a very scary army. I'm starting to be a little bit worried, though, for that worker count, right? Like, at some point, Terrans want to stop making workers. Yeah, you can see the same right now, actually, for Cure. He's like, wait a second. Normally, I want to have, like, less than 50, but, like, 29 is a little bit less than I'm really looking for. Oh, my god. That does mean, though, that this army supply right now for Cure is huge. Look at that. 166 army supply versus 120 for the Protoss. I kind of feel like Cure needs to go for a push. The thing is, as soon as he moves out, he will get backstabbed by a bunch of those Dark Templar and Zealots. And it's really difficult to push into an army that has this many sources of splash, right? By the way, he stopped producing air upgrades. So I don't really know. He's just sticking around on gateway units instead. I guess gateway units are really the bread and butter, though, of PartinG, right? Like, he's just so good with them. With maxed upgrades, it deals so much damage as well, but just not enough to really... Oh my god, that was a big one. That was like 4 ghosts. But really not enough to, like, deal with, you know, Marines and Marauders efficiently. Dark Templar this time around will get spotted, but there's so many of them that they just shut down the drop altogether. This is nuts. I love the Dark Templar, man. Like, Shadow Stride, it's an ability that's been added to the game for years now. So, it's the blink ability for the Dark Templar. Dark Templar just deals so much damage. I guess with the full-on, you know, +3 upgrades, they just, you know, shut down a base before you can blink. Well, they blink, and then you can't blink, and then, you know, the base dies. You get what I'm trying to say. Oh, massive EMPs, though, land on all of these Protoss units. Yeah, all of a sudden, Cure can just simply continue pushing. Disruptors are the scariest unit right now to deal with, but I mean, they are looking really vulnerable right here. They're gonna be picked off, and PartinG, just like that, ends up losing an awful lot of his units. Dark Templar, though, immediately move in. Exactly what I was mentioning earlier. There's still apparently 3 Disruptors here, and he's producing 3 more. Big Storm lands on all of those Terran units. They're gonna be forced to back off once again, I think, or at the very least take a bit of a breather as they get healed back up by those medivacs. Yeah, this is the issue, though. As soon as you move out here as Terran, Protoss moves in, right? And it doesn't have to be a lot of supply. Just a little bit here and there can definitely change the tide of battle. This Protoss army, though, it's not looking all too menacing, if I'm being honest with you. And those Liberators can just simply continue shelling away here. Good EMPs once again. They get a lot of damage done. 22 SCVs once more go down. That makes 124 here in total. But finally a couple of probe kills get added to the scoreboard as well. Nexus falls. And it looks like the base is little, though this command center probably will be burning down here. Immediately, PartinG is going in for the counterattack. He knows that the Terran's on the left-hand side of the map. Well, it seemed like he wanted to go for the counterattack. He's not doing so. Still not making use of his Stargates, man. I really feel like Stargates would have been, or Stargate units, rather, would have been a really good transition. Right now, his bank is depleted, by the way. Remember when both players just had like 10,000 resources in the bank? Well, no longer the case. All of a sudden, well, that one Dark Templar. The cheekiest Dark Templar. It's got 7 kills. It will get picked off eventually. Yeah, all of a sudden, though, both players now have, well, this army. This is what they've got. They can't really produce very much anymore. Base in the top right-hand corner, very, very valuable right now. That's a fresh one for the most part, right? Like, it's gonna allow him a lot of income. Cure does have a very nice amount of Liberators still, though. 10 Liberators. Well, make that 9. Make that 8. Still very good. There's also still an awful lot of ghosts here in the army of Cure. So he does have a good army. No Immortals, no Colossi, none of that. It's just going to be mostly gateway based. Looks like once again a ghost or two ended up dying here as well. Those Disruptors, I guess, are going to be the key. Purification Novas not connect this time around. It's just so difficult to chase down this Protoss army. Because, well, as soon as you move, the Disruptors get a shot in, right? Oh my god, he's scanning around the map. He knows that there might be a base somewhere. I guess he's sending a Liberator right now over towards the top right-hand corner to scout out for that location. Left-hand side, once again, being retaken right here for PartinG. I think Cure needs to set up another base soon. Ooh, apparently PartinG wants to see if he can maybe even end this game right here, right now. Not gonna happen, though. I think there's too much Terran. Very little mining here. It's almost not worth getting that base up. Liberator over here gets already 6 kills, 7 kills. He will end up losing its life here as well, but that's mostly just because Cure couldn't really reposition it, as you know, there's the big skirmish going on right here in the center of the map too. Cure is looking to see if he can move in that direction. Big stim being used. Okay. He doesn't have a lot of bases anymore though. Like, he's got very little mining. Yeah, look at this. There's like no mining here whatsoever. He's currently getting 400 minerals a second, which really is not that much. Or 400 minerals, rather, a minute. Opposed to PartinG, though, who's getting a whopping 500. Amazing. Nexus will fall, by the way, here in the top right-hand corner. Obviously, that cost him a lot of income just now. He does have this base just finishing up, though, so I think he can continue mining here. Ooh. One Disruptor, right? One Disruptor hit, one Purification Nova, and this game can be over. How many Disruptors is that? That's 8. That's a lot. They can't be EMP'd. They can't really be shut down other than with Micro. Micro is the key here. I don't even know if it's worth keeping this Orbital. Ooh, big storms do land. Yeah, the Orbital, I guess, is nice to have for, like, scanning purposes and all that. He needs to get another base. There's a Dark Templar over here. So at this point, PartinG knows immediately what's going on. Such a stressful game right now. PartinG's starting to inch ahead right now, especially when it comes to the army supply. 105 versus 90. Liberator apparently bypasses that base entirely. He wants to go on over to this expansion over here, knowing very well that that is going to be the only likely location where PartinG is going to expand next. And he actually also scanned for it, so he knows that those probes that were mining top right are now moved over towards the left-hand side. Orbital Command probably will get picked off here, so that's one less structure to scan with and to drop mules with. Base over here, though, is acquired now, and Cure once more sets up a nice economy. Mules super valuable at this point in the game. Does he still have scans? Yeah, he has a lot of scans at this point still. He's not really dropping mules, knowing that he needs the scans whenever he can. That's another scary part, though, of Dark Templar, right? Like, yeah, you invest in them, and sometimes they don't get anything done, but your opponent is going to have to keep scans in the bank in order to deal with them. So it still deals damage later on into the game as well. Observer gets spotted, will be picked off. Nice EMPs there. Okay, so we're 30 minutes into the game right now, pretty much. And neither player really had a significant advantage. If I were to call an advantage right now, I think we can say that PartinG is ahead. He's got more workers. He's got slightly more army. But it can be over so easily. Those EMPs are absolute money. Yeah, he's definitely in a good spot, but never underestimate a Terran player with, you know, Medivacs and a bunch of bio units, right? They can deal so much damage. Once the splash damage is out of this army, PartinG's force just shuts down. Great zoning once again, though. This now opens up the door right here to PartinG potentially going after this base. He knows that it's not a planetary. 2 zealots in the meantime are going to town in the mineral line. Liberator trying to do whatever he can. Command center will be repaired once again. Yeah, Cure is constantly looking here to take the engagement, but whenever he steps forward, the disruptors fly forward, and, well, storms are there as well. It's like a last-ditch effort. You just can't engage this very easily. So these Liberators are doing damage, though. That's 7 kills on that one. Oh, once again, moving down the ramp. Awful lot of worker kills, by the way. We're quickly approaching the 200 killed workers in one match. It's a lot of supply. Love the fact that Liberators are still roaming the map, though. They're hunting for bases, right? He needs to be aware of roughly how much the Protoss has. He needs to harass it. Beautiful EMPs once again as... Oh, PartinG was not paying attention for just a little bit. Excellent splits right there as well on the Terran army. Who pretty much all these Protoss units right now are without shields. And the Terran player heals back up. And now all of a sudden, that supply count in favor of the Terran. Yeah, disruptors are so good, like the lower you go on the ladder, but at the highest level, they don't seem to get that much done. I mean, obviously he's gotten value out of it, right? But it's mostly a zoning weapon right now, and I love this move. This is what I think is great. Just use them one at a time, kill the command center, get out. Now, the issue is right now, though, he has to... Oh, the one Dark Templar that was left behind. Beautiful move. The issue right now, though, is that Cure can cut him off. His retreat path towards this base is much, much slower, right? Like, Protoss is going to have to move all the way around and take an extra turn. So apparently PartinG instead wants to go in for what seems to be the counterattack. Reinforcing Terran units, trying to head back towards the main base. Nexus over here will definitely fall. A lot of workers once again going down. And with that, I think, yep, we have definitely killed more than 200 here in total. This is a sick game. Cure is sharking around the map right now. This is the first time he's actually seen this side of the map with his Terran units, it feels like. PartinG probably not sure exactly what he's supposed to do at this point, right? It's like, yeah, I normally win at this point. Like, why did you not just take one of those massive shots to the face? Or, like, moved into my army on accident and ended up getting stormed? Like, what exactly is the point now? You can see production tab is empty. Both players, actually, are not getting any income. Ooh, that's crazy. Both players right now are at 0 minerals as an income. Look at this. There's a little bit of gas apparently being mined somewhere by PartinG. I guess he's long distance mining some gas on accident. I don't really know. He needs to, like, acquire 400 minerals again before he can start another Nexus somewhere. Whereas for Terran, Cure right now, yeah, he's flying one of those bases on over towards this location. Oh my god. Are you gonna move around, PartinG? Or are you gonna move around, Cure? That's so risky. Luckily for PartinG, there was an observer there, so he knew that it was happening. Okay. Oof. Big hit there. I don't even know really if Cure wants to fight this, man. Ghosts actually come in from the side. They will get picked off. I kind of feel like you don't even need to fight. Just try and you know, start mining again from that base. He knows that his opponent is not mining very much either right now. Okay, there's the SCVs. That does mean that Cure can get himself a nice force again here as time goes by. Whereas for PartinG, I think this is the army that he's got. I mean, if he gets a lot of time, I guess he can start up another Nexus, but this is mostly the army that he's got, and he does have a very sustainable force. Fighting on the photon cannons, I'm not sure if it's the greatest move here, Cure. I feel like that's the only way that PartinG can really come back into this. He has a very good amount of supply. PartinG, that is. Huge EMPs once again, Lando. Ooh, the Marines, Marauders, and Ghosts, they try and do whatever they can, and I think that might just be a little bit too much. Photon cannons did get shut down. These Medivacs, man, they're healing up this Terran army consistently, and the entirety of this game so far. Disruptor hit, moving forward. It does connect with a couple of the Marauders. More Marauders don't come in, and PartinG, after being aggressive for basically 32 minutes in this game, has to tap out as Cure managed to hold on by the skin of his teeth. Insane match. I hope you enjoyed watching it. If you did, hit that like button down below, but more importantly, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get notified as soon as future videos go live. I post videos Monday through Saturday, usually at about 8 to maybe sometimes 9 p.m. CEST, so that's Central European summertime. I post videos 6 days a week, so if you enjoyed them, hit the subscribe button. But for now, I want to thank you for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile alright, and I will see you once again in the next one.